fucking gods, nigga.
Infirmity's not of a newborn, but of a man well in his 80s on his way to the grave.
He's dying?
Of old age.
Oh, God in heaven. He looks just like my ex-husband.
My name is Benjamin. I was gonna die soon, but maybe not.
You're odd.
You got your sea legs about you, old man?
I think.
He gives me the willies. That is not for me.
And I watched as he forgot how to walk. How to
What's my name?
talk.
I'm Daisy. Can you say Daisy?
That he knew who I was. And then he closed his eyes as if to go to sleep.
Saliya, what's going on? What's going on there? You got me worried. Is this an OnlyFans or is this YouTube? Is this safe for kids?
What if I'm naked?
I am very concerned. Well, let me cover my eyes.
No, I'm not naked.
Okay.
Guys, don't think that.
That's fine. All right. Well, thank you for joining us this week for another review, Salty Popcorn, with the sexy Saliya and with the ever so humble and embarrassed Dami. So I guess this week we're gonna talk about another movie. So 2008, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, right? Starring Brad Pitt, Kate Blanchett, and Taraji Henson, and a few other guest appearances. So for those that have not seen it, this is now your spoiler warning before we go into the premise and go into the story. So essentially, this movie, which is just shy of 3 hours, so 2 hours, 46 minutes, it's essentially telling about the case of a man that was born old, and then goes through life aging in reverse. So this man being played by Brad Pitt. And what I found about this movie is that for its time, just over a decade ago, the special effects of this was really good, right? So when you see the old man Brad Pitt, you actually think, oh wow, this actually could be him, you know. So but all in all, I thought the story was a very good one. Film, very entertaining, and definitely as you watch it once, you might feel compelled to watch it twice, but definitely not back-to-back seatings, because it is a long movie. What do you think about it?
I think the whole movie, it's about like aging and death. That we all are like terrified by death, that someday we all gonna die. So if even from the beginning, his mom dies, like the real mom, and then so I have a feeling that the whole cycle of the movie is from the birth to death. So it's very interesting. And for Benjamin, I think he is so afraid of death because every single person that he really loved, at the end, they die.
Or even at the beginning, they died because he was raised in a senior home, right? And he saw death early, more so, yeah.
Exactly. And everyone who was important in his life, basically they vanished. So I guess like at the end, he was like, it wasn't like something very horrifying for him, because since he was born, he felt okay, so that's what it is. So I think it was very interesting. But are you scared of dying?
Am I scared of dying? No, I'm scared of not living life to the fullest. And sometimes we make choices out of fear for um like, let's say, oh, you know what? Let me just get married because I'm afraid to be lonely, kind of thing, right? So sometimes you make those kind of decisions because you're afraid, right? But for me, it's not living life to fullest, as in not making enough choices and saying yes. That's probably what I'm most afraid of, right? So because oftentimes when you meet people, well, what I've heard rather, when people are on the deathbed, more times than not, the things they regret is not taking more chances, not doing more with their life. And that was not the case for Benjamin Button. So I think for me, the movie, yes, it's about enjoying life and the experiences that Benjamin went through. I also recognize that this was a romance drama movie, so there's talking about his love interest and how he impacted her life and vice versa, and his different experiences through life. This movie actually kind of reminds me a little bit like, remember Forrest Gump? So it goes through his life story kind of thing. Well, his from start to to him being a father. Also, spoiler alert, sorry. It also talks about his life experiences, that it seems as if this guy lived such a full life. And same with Benjamin Button, he sailed a tugboat, traveled, went to war, had a motorcycle for a few years, went to circus and things like that. And he met some interesting people and had an affair with a married woman who was by the way of Tilda Swinton. So yes, so if you guys haven't seen, she was in Marvel. She was the ancient one, I guess. But anyways, experiences. That's what this movie is about, and it's about enjoying life and living life to the best of your ability despite death, right? So, for you, Saliya, as an actress, how would you have navigated that terrain if you were thrown in that role of Benjamin Button? Let's call it Benita Button.
Okay, then.
Yeah, the curious case of Benita Button. How would you have prepared for a role like this?
I don't know. I guess. I guess you don't really need to be. I mean, you need to be prepared, but it's life, so that's something very obvious, I guess. I really don't know, but I think. What do you mean, like, how would I prepare for the role?
Like, essentially, if now you're cast as Benita Button, oftentimes there's some actors and actresses that go into method acting, or like they go do a lot of research by sitting with people that have similar ailments, or try to study how certain characters would be in those time periods. Because, for example, this movie, I think it started off in like the 1960s, 1970s, right? So some might have said they would have watched the Titanic, they would have watched all these, all these different period pieces to say, okay, this is the mindset of people that would be in those time periods. This is how the things they would value. This is the way they would walk. These are the different kind of terminology they would talked about. Because I think something that often goes amiss is like Benjamin Button or Brad Pitt now, though as an old man, he spoke like an old man. He spoke like he experienced life. He spoke with a richer vocabulary than most, I would think. When he was quote unquote younger, but he was really older, he still spoke distinguished kind of thing, at least from my ear to my, my untrained ear. But to you, Saliya, how would you have done it?
I don't know. I have to do my research.
So out of all the experiences that you saw in the movie, what was like one scene or one character that kind of jumped out to you that you're like, okay, that's cool? Because I know for me, like, do you want me to go first? Or actually, you tell me. You tell me.
I don't really understand your questions.
He lived a rich life. He went on a tugboat. He went to he met friends at circus. He met friends in senior home. He met that married woman, right? Out of all the people he met, which of these secondary characters stood out to you?
Taraji Henson, the mom.
Mom, yes, okay.
And I think she was also nominated for the Oscar.
Okay.
And this is so funny. I saw an interview from her, that she said she did the audition and then they asked her to go to do the callback and she didn't go. She was just so scared of everything. I don't know. She just didn't go. And I guess then David Fincher called her or something. And then at the end, she just went to talk to him. So I guess she didn't go for the call because, I mean, you don't know. It's very audition, callback, everything is just so, I mean, I don't get stressed, but I assume if you have to do a monologue and you have to do it like it, and I mean, maybe when you're on your own or when you know people, it's easier for you. But when you like just go to a callback, like because the casting is easier because the casting director, they're the same people that they really like them. So probably you don't get that stressed out rather than just go to a callback and then do an audition that in front of people that you don't know them at all, and you have to be like, you have to do it like you have to really kill it. Yeah, so I think that's why she was scared, and then she didn't go to the callback. And then that's what I heard. Okay, did not know that, but I guess the process in itself can be overwhelming. But at the end, she got the part. She did well, and it surprised everyone, including herself, probably. So we're happy about that. And then to answer my own question, the secondary character that I liked was actually Captain Mike, who's played by Jared Harris. So if you remember, that he died.
Yeah, he died because he went into war and ships shot him down. But I feel like that character, try to help him transition to a quote unquote man, because he helped him get laid, but also told him stories about what the real world is about. Because that was the point in Benjamin Button's life where he stepped out from under the umbrella of Taraji, his mother, right? So I felt like that Captain Mike is equivalent to Lieutenant Dan, I guess, in Forrest Gump, right? But overall, though, I think like there was some interesting additional people. So like, remember Tilda Swinton, the wife of a spy that he essentially hooked up with, she had an affair with Benjamin. And I also thought that was interesting because if you remember, they did interesting callbacks. So different callbacks, like she told a story about how she swam across the English Channel and didn't finish. And then like years later, she appeared in the movie again as a news feature. And another great callback is that old man in the senior home that said, did I ever tell you I got hit by lightning 7 times? And he actually told it 7 different times during the movie. And I think that's, very, to me, I like those small little things that make me think, oh wait, this is a long movie, but it exercises my brain as to, oh yes, I remember this is a thing, kind of thing. But yeah, all in all, I like the movie. I definitely do. And it's probably, to some, this is not a typical Fincher movie, David Fincher movie, but to me, this is one of my better ones, one of my favorite ones. This one and the Social Network. Yeah. So yeah, that
I
was.
think also the scene that when Daisy falls on the stairs and she got the emergency to go to the hospital to give birth. So if you really look at Benjamin's face, it's like he's horrified and he's so scared. And I guess that's why he decided to leave, because usually like everyone that he loved in his life, they abandoned him. So when he saw that scene, he was like, oh my God, again, like the woman that I love, she just falls upstairs and maybe he was so scared that the daughter would be another version of him.
Yes,
so maybe
exactly.
he dies as well. So I guess he got like he had like anxiety and fear in his eyes. So he then that's why he said, okay, he got his old habit, and then he just left because he didn't want to see another death in front of his eyes. The people that really
I kind of want to disagree with that, just because I understand his logic. He doesn't want his daughter to maybe like, okay,
no,
fine.
He said that because when she said she's pregnant, he was kind of happy, but he was worried because he said, what if she's like me?
I think, yeah, and that's the case in most.
Because he wasn't supposed to leave. He wasn't supposed to leave either, Benjamin. I mean,
you think he would have grown old or young with Kate Blanchett, with Daisy, if not for a child? If Daisy didn't get pregnant, do you think?
Yes, I guess so.
Interesting. Yeah,
I guess.
We'll never know, but yeah, perhaps. I think.
But it was like, it was like a crazy movie. I imagine if. So the only time that they were really happy when they were both like 43. So they said okay, and then he took her to Disney, and show they look at each other in front of the mirror, and then they say okay, so let's just enjoy. So I think at the end, this movie was saying that you have to really enjoy the moment and live your life, because it was a kind of depressing, because I'm telling you, that was the cycle.
But we saw this coming, though. Let's be honest, though, because we know every life eventually has to end. How that life ends, that's some people choose it, some people don't. So that's it.
And there was something very interesting. That how they did the face of Brad Pitt.
The age in his face. Tell me.
I guess that was like a visual effect of something that's called VFX technology that made Benjamin Button possible, and the face is CGI. So there was another actor's body. Then Brad Pitt was making faces, and then there was like I guess this VFX technology that was very interesting for me, like the post-production, how they do it. Then they put it on the body of the other actor.
Yeah, so funny enough, that's the kind of stuff that happens even nowadays. Like if you remember Captain America, back when he was transformed from the scrawny person that he was to the buff self, that transformation scene. It was actually before the transformation scene. It was a body double, and it was a face swap, as you said, a VFX. And funny enough, that technology is even getting used more. Have you seen there's videos of, it's called deepfake. There's an app now. You can essentially look very much like older, younger, or and it'll be very video capturing too. So it's not just stills.
It's like face app?
Yeah, it's called deep fake. So
No, I don't know that. I know face app that it used to be that you could be like, for example, I did
go old, be a girl, be a
Julia
guy.
Roberts, Pretty Woman.
Yeah, there's a video about a guy that looks that there's a video of Tom Cruise, and it actually gives all of the mannerisms of Tom Cruise, but we find out this is not really Tom Cruise. This is a guy using the deep fake. So, and then I guess if that technology looked good for you then, what do you think about like a lot of movies now that have to de-age some actors because sometimes they do prequels? So for example, an example is Star Wars, General Tolkien. They do some. Well, keep your eye on the channel. Maybe there's a reason for you to start watching. Woo. But anyways, there's a lot of actors that now have to go through that kind of process of de-aging. So because they show different stages of life or do prequels and things like that. But body swapping, you can't, you can only de-age the face, you can't de-age the body, right? So that's probably an easy solution. So all in all, what was your salty popcorn rating for you, Saliya?
I don't know IMDb rate, but I would say 6.5.
6.5. Okay, that's fine. I'll let you live your life. Well, live it backwards, maybe. I would say, to be quite honest, when I watched it the first time, I would say 7, but the more that I watch it, the more I realize like how deep it is. I would go an 8. So I guess on average that's a 7.75, but we'll call it 7.5. So guess what the score is on IMDb. It is 7.8. So out of 10, and then Rotten Tomatoes is 71%. So salty popcorn came in pretty close. So I can't believe I'm the one that's bringing the average up these days. Normally I'm the tough critic, but alas, it's all good. But
what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene
in the movie?
I don't think I have a favorite scene, but I definitely have like favorite moment. So for example, my favorite moment. Yeah, my favorite moment would be one of my favorite moments would be when him and Daisy reunite in the senior home after years apart kind of thing. And I was like, wow, okay, this is destined. Like she just appeared at the senior home. It's not like she was visiting someone, she just went there, and I was like, oh, destiny, that's nice, that's cute. Another favorite moment for me would be when Taraji, so his mom, took him to the church and the church was saying, oh, the pastor's like, how old are you, old man? And he's like, 7. and the pastor said, I guess he's young at heart. I was like, no, that's funny. So yeah, I like those small things. And then, like I said, the callbacks to different things. Another great callback was the mention of the clock and the folklore and how his life is connected to the clock. They started with that and ended it with that. And I thought that was kind of cool. How about you? Favorite scene?
As you said, favorite moment is when he dies in in Daisy arms.
That's
and
you.
He look at her, and that was the moment that you feel like that you really recognize her.
Quote unquote, he recognized her.
And he closed the baby, closed eyes and died. It was like that one. And when he became like younger as a baby, and it says he couldn't walk, so because he was a baby, so it was like kind of so weird for me. Oh my God, a man that you were so in love, you had an affair, they became a baby, like So he died in the woman's in the woman's of the woman that he loved. Yeah, in woman's arms that he loved.
Oh, aren't you ever romantic?
That's nice.
So, but alas, that was a good David Fincher movie. I think you like that one much more than Fight Club, and the fact that we'd had a repeat cast, so I guess Brad Pitt in both movies, and he's been in number 7 too. So David Finch has a go-to guy, I guess, when it comes to some movies.
He loves Brad Pitt.
He does. So, but alas, maybe we'll do another David Fincher movie next week. We shall see.
We'll see. You have to choose. We will see.
Okay, we shall see. But anyone that does listen, maybe give us a like, subscribe, and share, and comment what movie you want us to review, and then we can take that into consideration.
Yes,
all right,
please.
All right, everyone, have a good one, and see y'all next week.
Bye.
See ya.